Hello everybody, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So this is part 2. Most of you have just seen part 1 upload. If you've not seen part 1, go back and watch it. This is Evan, right? He's going to finish walking us through how his autistic child reacted the day of the upcountry wildfires. That will be August 7th, 2023. Guys, this is really important. These are missing pieces of puzzle that we just haven't had, like firsthand witness accounts of how people reacted to what could have been a DEW or some high frequency weapon. So enjoy it, like, comment, share it. If you want to help with donations for the fire victims, it's going to be linked at the top in comments. I am exhausted. We watched the sunset at Haleakala. I have all that videoed for you guys. I'm going to try to get it up first thing in the morning. We love you guys. Mahalo for everything you're doing. We had the luau tomorrow night. On the 7th, we're going back to see His Majesty in Hana, cooking a traditional Louisiana meal for him in honor of him, trying to share our culture. So lots of great, amazing things happening. It's boots on the ground, you guys. Just hang in there. We have 8 more days and a lot of stuff to get videoed for you guys. But right now, our biggest focus is making sure that we are, being a blessing, that we are active tourists. I did want to tell you guys in the morning, Stephen and I are going to see a fire victim that lost everything, saved her birds, moved across the island, and is now extremely ill. Her mother is a subscriber of this channel, and we are bringing her a cash donation tomorrow. I've already made a $200 cash donation to help her with medical expenses, but tomorrow we're going to bring her a good bit more money. So your money's going to the right places. I will video that for you guys. This is what it's about. This is not our trip. This is our trip. We love you guys. I'm pooped. It's 10 o'clock here. I'm hitting that bed because we have to wake up in the morning. Boots on ground. God bless. Talk to you guys later.
And another thing I forgot to mention. My theory is that when that whole thing happened, where he had that reaction, it was probably the same time that the fire started in Olinda at the Maui bird sanctuary.
You're exactly right. A lot of people don't realize there were multiple fires on this island.
I don't know if you saw the surveillance footage of that one. I'll show it to you.
Yes, show it to me. I'd love to see that one.
So it's really interesting. There's a surveillance camera pointing towards the forest area, and there's a big flash. It knocks the camera out of position. Like when
I did see that. That's the one that they tried to claim was electricity.
They tried to claim it was like a power line that fell or something like that.
And there's no down power lines there.
And they tried to say it was a gust of wind that moved the camera like that. No way.
No, that was a hit.
Yeah.
That was a boom.
I want to say that was probably the exact time where he had his reaction.
Well, yeah, he did. Because on the way here, so I have a master's in special education. My sister has 2 masters, worked in special education for 30 years, which I want to introduce her to you. My dad, just a redneck from Louisiana, but self-educated. And on the way here, I was saying, Dad, I have to go meet this gentleman. His child is autistic. And he said, Sam, people forget that we are mammals. Okay? So he said, in children who are autistic, because their brains work differently, they are more in tuned to their natural base self than we are. Like our brains have learned, we have learned to tune out or we go crazy, right? So we have protections, which autistic children do not have. So therefore, any change in frequency, barometric pressure, storms coming in, certain smells, like their brain goes back to a deeper, more brutal self, a base self, and responds in which is where you get what you said, which is an extreme response. And you guys are like, what's going on? Which was, y'all knew some of those, right? Because like you said, we were irritated. Tom, you thought you were just irritated because of him, and you realized, and looking back, it was nobody's fault. Yeah. You were frustrated because you're feeling something, but you have an ability to tune out that he does not have.
Yeah.
So he was getting it 100%. My God, that must have been horrific for a child.
Yeah, and there's also studies that have shown that children with autism, they've done tests and they found heavy heavier levels of metal.
Yes.
And they're like hair samples. And that
Yes,
kind
they
of
do. And they're also, I found one recently. I was doing some research for this trip and looking at frequencies, and it is a provable, factual thing that frequencies with children who are autistic, they can not only hear frequencies you and I cannot, they respond even if they can't hear it. They have physiological responses through heart rate, blood pressure, REM sleep, eye pattern movement, brain activity. They put them into CAT scans and done all this. Provable.
Yeah.
It's provable. It wouldn't take people 10 seconds to prove what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And
And this is his view, by the way. It's phenomenal. Look at this, guys. Phenomenal. So yeah, can we see the hole?
Yeah.
I don't want the camera. So you covered up the hole for him so he didn't have to see it.
Yeah. So
yeah, he did. That almost looks like he put his head in it.
Well, he was sitting right,
and slammed. Oh, yeah. He was just responding. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do. He's trying to run from it.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, you see, and we're going to see a woman tomorrow. It doesn't live here. It doesn't live 15 minutes from you. If I didn't know when I was going to meet her, her mother is one of the subscribers on our channel. She was a little sick before the fires, but ever since the fires, she's almost like critically ill. Must leave and go to California. We're going to bring her a cash donation tomorrow. But there's a lot. People just don't realize what the fire victims and just people that live in Maui have dealt with.
The following days after the fire, I don't know if it was because of, kind of just the traumatizing nature
Yes.
of it or something else, but I was very absent-minded.
I would have think it was from that.
Setting things down, forgetting where I'm putting things.
Yes.
Can't focus on anything.
Yep.
And I know that's been a common thing that people who are, especially like in the fires in Paradise,
Yeah.
have had reports of, a lot of trouble focusing.
Oh, I did a
months
video
after.
on that too.
Yeah.
When I heard about what was another fire somewhere, I think it was in California, I was letting people know that there is now something called fire brain. They have diagnosed it, and
Yeah.
people, and they can say what they want, but what it is, you guys are being exposed to toxins that are legitimately creating. Okay, I'm trying to figure out which way. Lahaina would have been
It's behind us.
behind us, but
Yeah.
did the smoke come over you guys?
No, so we didn't see any smoke. There was no crazy winds in this area at all.
No, right? Don't you love how 600 miles away there was a hurricane and that's the reason you guys had a fire?
Yeah,
I love that
I mean,
explanation.
yeah.
I'm like, I live in hurricane country. When they're in the Gulf and they're 300 miles off the coast, we don't even know it's there.
Yeah.
It's got to be within 50 miles of us for us to know there's a hurricane coming in. That's not how hurricanes work. They can't be 600 miles away
Right.
and affect you with the wind. I know that. I live in Hurricane Alley.
Yeah.
South
and
Louisiana, folks. We don't,
It would be affecting the whole island.
Yeah,
anyways.
absolutely would.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was this island's shaped in a way that one side would get slammed with the wind, it go up over these mountains and come down, or you know what I'm saying, or swirl around it. But yeah, you guys, there's no way that hurricane had nothing to do with what happened here.
Yeah, we didn't see any smoke, even smell any smoke. or
Yeah,
anything like
that's
that.
that's good though. But you would have been in the air and the water and everything else.
Yeah, what was crazy though is so right across there is a massive fire. I'll show you the picture of it. That's how we first found out that the fires were happening.
Was that Kula or Linda?
Kula is actually up there. So the
Okay.
fire that was happening over on this area was, I believe, the one that was by Kihei.
Kihei. Okay, yeah, because there was one in Kihei, two in Kula, or one in Kula, one in Olinda.
Yeah, and then the
Lahaina. So
Yeah.
that's and then there was two in Kihei. It was spread. Like
Right,
up
and-
this mountain and then way away. Like I told the king, when His Majesty, when I met him, I said, I'm gonna tell you what I honestly think they did. I think they started fires here and we're expecting those fires to come down this mountain, take out all of this, and on the other side, they expected the Lahaina to continue down the coast and clear it. Because this is prime land. All of this where we're sitting. This is prime.
Possible, but I've done so much research into like the history of these fires that I've pretty much determined that they have control to do it wherever they actually want. It's not as random as
People
they
think.
They want us to think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you are right though. As far as the fires that happened over there, I do think that was like a distraction. It happened almost simultaneously.
Yeah, it did. All four of them. Pop, 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 like
Yeah.
that. And people were like, Sam, Like the fire, and then what happens? What people don't realize is all the fire trucks from the Lahaina area, that low part of Maui, they went up here to fight. I think they said that when the first fire started in Lahaina that morning, there wasn't but one fire truck down there.
Yeah.
All the firemen were up here.
Yeah, they were probably spread all over the island. I mean, with the
So they pulled them away. They pulled everybody out of Lahaina and up here.
Well, I know there were firefighters in Lahaina. So there's a story about how there was the firefighters in Lahaina that were monitoring the spot that the fire started. I guess
The original.
Yeah, so they were there. This is what the firefighter claims that was interviewed. She says that they were there all the way up until like 2 in the afternoon or something like that.
Somewhere between 1 and 3, I remember that.
Yeah, and they went to go on their lunch break, and within like 15, 20 minutes
it popped right back.
Yep.
100% contained.
Yeah, and that's a pattern that's happened at multiple fires.
Yes, it has.
Happened in Oakland.
They leave, get called away, and it's contained, and then it's not contained.
Yeah.
You are correct. It is.
With these fires, whoever these global elites are that are planning and behind these, they absolutely do not want high death counts. As little of controversy as they can have around the fire is ideal for them. And that's why I think the fire here in Lahaina was so significant, because there's so much controversy around it. I mean, so many things that just red flags.
That's right.
I mean, you compare that to, say, the fires in Oregon, okay, that happened in 2020. I mean, there was like I think they said that around 20 people died in those fires, but there was almost no controversy around it, so no one knew about it, yet there was actually a larger structure, more structure damage in the Oregon fires than there was here in Maui. You know, and no one really talks about those fires at all, or like the Marshall Fire in Colorado, you know.
Yeah, or the one that's burning on the Cherokee. No, is it Cherokee? Yes, the Cherokee Indian Reservation, largest copper find in the world.
Yeah.
Mine underneath their most sacred site, and they would not quit fighting them over that land. All of a sudden, their forest and their entire reservation's on fire.
Yep.
I'm like, come the heck on, you guys. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Chile with the lithium.
That's right.
So it's anywhere there where they either want to take the land for those kinds of things, or they want people out of the land, or they feel it's getting overpopulated. There's so many reasons. Yeah, there's many reasons behind it. It's been going on for nearly at least 80 years now.
Yes.
I don't know the purpose behind the original ones, if they were just doing it as experiments.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was all experimental. And it's what I try to tell people too, is what they're doing in the stratosphere, those heavy metals they're dumping, they can stay up there anywhere from a year to 3 years. So they heavy, that's why you see them do it and then stop, do it and then stop. They can we don't actually see them in the stratosphere. What we see is just a little cloud seeding they're doing here. But they'll go up and dump those heavy metals up there to reflect the sunlight, blah, blah, blah. Then that begins to trickle down. That's so flammable. So the next fire, it just accelerates, because now the plants and the trees have absorbed those metals. The people have absorbed those metals.
Yeah.
And it just heats it up like ridiculous, folks. Well, thank you so much, Evan. We appreciate you stepping forth and talking and sharing your experience. I know it's hard on you guys, and hopefully praying God's going to keep shining the light. It's not going to go away.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate you giving me a platform to be able to talk about this. And
we needed people to come forward, and I appreciate it. I really do.